Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Thursday's Market SITREP. And man, we've talked about Iran, the Arabian Gulf, and the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group being over there, and how 3-4 weeks ago it looked like we were getting very, very close to something military happening, and then it got all quiet. Seemed like the president wanted to back down a little bit. The Lincoln isn't even in the Arabian Gulf; it's outside the Strait of Hormuz, down in the Gulf of Oman, and then this happens: oil tankers off, Iran hit by suspected torpedoes. Obviously, oil's going through the roof, but I got to be honest with you, the market really is not reacting to this at all. Sometimes we have a delayed reaction. Remember, folks, a lot of big news stories that the market just kind of sat there for a little bit and said, and then the next day or maybe the day after, it cares, right? One of the wizisms here at Top Gun Options is the market only cares when it cares. And right now, I got to be honest with you, with a VIX at 1581, below that current resting heart rate of about 16. Well, I guess still hovering above the 50-day moving average. We have a weekly options bull put spread that's looking pretty good, up $750 since Monday. We just need VXX to stay above 27 by tomorrow, and there's a 73% probability of collecting a full nearly $2,000 in profit on limited risk in that weekly options trade. Volatility is going to stay elevated, folks. We had a big pop in vol, and guess what? It's hovering, it's staying up here. Why? Because volatility means uncertainty. There is absolutely no certainty at all. We had a little certainty, I guess, earlier or over the weekend when the president decided not to slap Mexico with those 5% tariffs. And then, the market kind of shrugged here. What have you done for me lately? As predicted, we went through the 50-day moving average, and we're going to chop around here. We're going to chop until next, the 20th? Yep, this time next week, it's going to be a very big day for the market because that's the next Fed meeting. Really interesting stuff going on as well. Let's talk trade first. China's trade front man points with laser to the bright side of U.S. tension. So this is Vice Premier Liu He. He's kind of the Mnuchin or the Ambassador Lighthizer equivalent. He actually said some kind of nice things. And I think we're trying to thaw here, right? The end of July, we have a G20 summit over in Japan. I think it'll thaw at the end of the month, and then they're going to tell these guys, they're going to tell their lieutenants to get back to talking and making a deal because it's getting uglier, folks. And China's really getting bloodied. We're going to find out tonight at 10 Eastern. Congratulations, St. Louis Blues, by the way. Great game. Fixed asset investment, industrial production, retail sales, and the unemployment rate. We get China data tonight, and if that's not good, I think we're going to probably head lower tomorrow. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on the China trade data. Really interesting that as this market, has had this recovery after the Trump walk away from China negotiations, what have people been flocking to? Utilities and other safety stocks, along with market uncertainty. So as I said, volatility is hovering, but the rally is essentially safe stocks. Over half of the S&P 500 folks are still underwater. Right? Not looking super good. So this is interesting, folks. We have a Fed meeting next week. The market would love for the Fed to cut. I agree with Professor Siegel here. They're not going to cut next week. They like to be prepared. They like to make speeches. I think next Thursday they actually set next Wednesday they set the tone for cutting in July. And as long as they set the tone that they're most likely going to cut at the next meeting, I think that's a bullish indicator. But I don't know, folks. I mean, Goldman Sachs, as I reported this week, came out with a note that says they don't cut it all this year, while the Fed funds futures market is looking at 3 rate cuts this year with a 60% probability. I mean, that's insane. Goldman Sachs and the futures market being on completely opposite ends here. But Wall Street Journal survey had most economists say the Fed's next move is a rate cut, right? I think they shouldn't do anything. As a matter of fact, I think the economy is a little hot here. And remember, folks, I get the awful jobs report on Friday. And then that being bizarro market, right? That ended up being good news because the Fed's got to cut now because that's an awful jobs report. One jobs report, 1 month, one print does not a nervous Fed make. Okay, you're really, as I said, this time next week, there's going to be a lot more clarity, which obviously the Fed is in the business of doing, is providing clarity. So we're going to we're going to know a lot more. So I'm more or less going to be sitting on our hands. We have a 1 o'clock live trade brief, our analyze and debrief for the week. So we're going to talk about this. Maybe, just sitting on your hands is a good trade here. Banking on the Fed to do something that the market's more or less telling them to do is a dangerous game. If they don't signal, first of all, if they don't cut next week and signal that they're going to next, obviously I think we head lower here. This market's up here on hopium, folks. Hope on a trade deal, hope on this, hope on that, hope that the Fed cuts rates. This is a hope rally, man, and hope can sometimes fade. Remember, over the past couple days, when the market was up back here, the market was up and the VIX was up. That means it's a hold your nose rally, folks. When the market is up and the VIX is up, something's up. And the something that is up is that it is a hold your nose rally and not to be believed for too long. We got, within about 2% of record highs. I mean, who's going to jump in and buy this market at the top at record highs? Certainly not me, but we're going to, shuck and jive and potentially make money no matter which direction that it goes here. But for now, tactically, I think we chop around this 50-day moving average. We'll see what the China data say tonight. And then I will see you tomorrow for Friday's market wrap-up. Okay, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless.